Hope is the most dangerous thing a person can carry into a room because it asks nothing of reality. It simply arrives, fully formed, fully certain, dressed like a fact, but made entirely of need. Eli had been awake since 4. Not anxiously awake, not pacing, just that particular kind of wakefulness where your body has decided that sleep is no longer available at this address. He had read her message 40 times. We need to talk. 4 words, and into those 4 words, he had poured everything he had been too afraid to say for 3 months. He told himself he was being realistic. He told himself he wasn't expecting anything. He believed neither of these things. He showered. He stood in front of his closet for 11 minutes. He chose the blue shirt, the one she had once said looked good on him, then changed out of it because that felt too obvious, then changed back into it because it did look good on him. He left 30 minutes early, told himself it was because of traffic. It was not because of traffic. The cafe she had chosen was neutral ground, not theirs. They had their places, places that still held the shape of who they used to be, so she had chosen somewhere else. And Eli understood, in the part of him that understood things he didn't want to understand, what that meant. He got there first. He chose a table by the window. He ordered a coffee he didn't need. He sat with his hands around the cup and watched the door. She arrived at exactly the time she said she would. Mira had always been precise like that. It was one of the things he had loved early on, how she treated time like something worth respecting. She looked the same. That was the first thing he registered. And then she looked different, lighter, something in her posture that hadn't been there before. She moved through the cafe without scanning the room the way someone does when they're uncertain about where they stand. She spotted him and walked directly to the table. She didn't hesitate. He stood up, because he didn't know what else to do with his body. Hi. Hi. And they sat down, and for a moment, before the world had to continue being what it was possible to pretend that nothing had changed. She asked how he was doing. He said, fine. She nodded. She had always known when he was lying. She let it pass. She ordered tea. She held the cup the same way she always did, with both hands close to her chest, like it was cold even when it wasn't. And then she said the thing she had come to say. She said it quietly. She said it without cruelty, without theater, without any of the sharp edges that the moment could have had. She said, I've met someone. A long pause. Eli heard the words. He heard them the way you hear a sound that doesn't make sense yet. Your ears receive it, but the brain takes a moment, a generous moment. A moment of suspension where the world holds still and lets you be someone who hasn't heard what you just heard. Then the moment ended, and he was someone who had heard it. He said, oh. 1 syllable, the most compact devastation in the English language. She was watching him. Not with satisfaction, there was nothing in her face like that, just a careful, quiet watchfulness. The way you watch someone step onto uncertain ground. He asked the question he didn't want to ask. Are you happy? She took a breath, and in the pause before her answer, Eli had one final second of not knowing. Yes, she said. I think I am. A long pause. There it was. Not a maybe, not a complicated yes but. A quiet, honest, undefended yes. And this was the worst possible answer because it left him nothing to argue with. If she had said, I'm trying to be, he would have heard an opening. If she had said, it's complicated, he would have heard an invitation. But I think I am, said the way she said it, with that particular gentleness that was not kindness for his sake, but simply who she was. There was nothing in that answer that was for him. He nodded. He said, "That's good. I'm glad." He was not glad. He didn't know what he was. He held his coffee cup. He looked at the table surface. He said all the right things, the things a person says when they have decided not to make a scene, when they have decided to be graceful, when they have decided, in the space between one breath and the next, that whatever they lose in this room, they will not lose their dignity. She said, "I wanted to tell you myself. I didn't want you to find out another way." He understood what she meant. The mutual friends, the social media, the city that is always smaller than it looks. He said, "I appreciate that." And the conversation moved. They talked about other things, small things, careful things, how her work was going, the weather, the renovation on her street, the things two people talk about when they are choosing not to talk about the thing that is actually happening. 40 minutes later, they were standing outside on the pavement. The afternoon had turned gray while they were inside, one of those afternoons that can't decide what it wants to be. She said, "Take care of yourself, Eli. Not goodbye, not see you soon. Take care of yourself," which is what you say when you are removing yourself from the task of taking care of someone. He said, "You too." And she turned and she walked. And he watched her go the way you watch a ship that you always thought would come back to port, moving away through the water, unhurried, with no sign of turning. A long pause. He stood on the pavement for a moment. Then he started walking. He did not know where he was going. He just needed his body to be doing something while his mind processed a fact that his whole chest was rejecting. He turned down a side street. He put one earbud in, he pressed play on something, he didn't hear it. He walked for 10 minutes, 15, not counting. Then he stopped. Because across the street, through the glass front of a wine bar, warm light, a Friday evening crowd already gathering, he saw her. Mira. Already there. Already inside. Already laughing. Standing beside a man Eli had never seen before, tall, broad-shouldered, relaxed in a way that looked effortless, and she was laughing the way she used to laugh with Eli, the real laugh, head tilted back. He hadn't been gone 20 minutes. She hadn't gone home to think. She hadn't needed to. She walked directly into a life that was already waiting for her. A long pause. Eli stood on the pavement across the street, the evening traffic between them. He did not go in, he did not wave, he did not call. He just stood there and watched, for longer than he should have, long enough to see the man put his hand lightly at the small of her back as they turned from the bar to their table, long enough to see her not flinch. A long pause. Eli turned away. He put both earbuds in. He walked home. The city continued around him, noise, light, people, motion, all of it entirely unconcerned with the specific weight he was carrying. He unlocked his door. He went inside. He sat on the edge of his bed, coat still on, and stared at the wall. He sat there for a very long time. He did not cry. He just sat. And somewhere, a few streets away, in the warm light of a wine bar, Mira was laughing. And it occurred to Eli in the quiet of his room that she had not asked him to stop loving her. She had only asked him to stop expecting her to love him back. And those two things, he was beginning to understand, are not the same request at all.